Welcome back to the channel. One great thing about model railroading is the level of detail and realism that can be achieved like no other hobby can provide. Here at the Central Florida Railroad Modelers Club located in Orlando, Florida, our goal was to build a layout designed for prototypical railroad operations and to run with endless possibilities. With that said, it's all about the details. In this video series, we are going to take a tour of a small town on the layout called Parkersburg, West Virginia, and the surrounding areas. Of course, we are going to sample the trains that run through here daily. Looking north here at the south end of Parkersburg, this is the double-track main line. The track to the extreme right is known as the Parkersburg Secondary that runs adjacent to mainline serving industries in the downtown area. This is also a junction to the Livingston Yard that also leads to a town called Pond Run. There is also a branch line here that climbs a steep grade and onto the Ridgeline subdivision, bypassing the main line to Raynell Junction, leading to the opposite end of the layout. It's 6 a.m. and the signal for Track 2 comes alive for the first train of the morning. The dispatcher is clearing a route for Amtrak train number 42, the Valley Runner, as it's en route to its final destination located at Central Station just beyond Raynell Junction. Another goal was to have a fully operating prototypical CTC system and a dispatcher for our operating sessions. The Parkersburg station has a small platform and Amtrak will be pulling ahead to unload and unload passengers in the 2 sleeping cars. The Valley Runner departs for the last 62 miles of its journey to Central Station, which is located at Raynell Junction. With the sun up, let's take a tour of downtown Parkersburg as well as the towns on either side before our next train comes through. This is the main strip through the downtown area and is home to many stores and businesses. Other than the downtown storefronts, Parkersburg has business for the railroad that is served via the Parkersburg Secondary, which skirts the main line through the downtown area, and is served daily with one of the locals coming from Livingston Yard. Let's take a look at the south end of Parkersburg, mainly the industrial park known as Oak Hill. Oak Hill sits in a corner wedged between Livingston Yard and Parkersburg. To the right is the Livingston Short Lead, one of two access points in and out of Livingston on this end. Currently, there is a train lined up to depart northbound. Trains departing the north end of Livingston wrap around the backside of Oak Hill, around a couple industries and then into Parkersburg. Oak Hill is also served daily by a local from Livingston Yard. The abandoned track to the far right was once the service track that led to the industries in downtown Parkersburg. A track realignment project moved the access point further north and thus renamed the Parkersburg Secondary. While we wait for that train to depart Livingston Yard, let's take a quick look at the industries inside Oak Hill's industrial complex. Next to the scrapyard, there is a general warehouse and a produce distributor. To the left and behind the junkyard, there is the biggest structure standing over the entire area, Allied Locomotive Heavy Repair and Maintenance Facility. Let's head back to the tracks. Our next train is about to depart Livingston Yard. The Livingston short lead is one of 2 yard leads on the north end. This was done so trains departing Livingston Yard would not interrupt the yard switcher. Coming around the corner on track 2, this is E304 coming from Pond Run on the River Sub and then through Livingston Yard. The River Sub starts at the south end of Livingston, which is a location known as South Junction. This is one of many unit coal trains to and from this area. E304 is coming up to a stop indication here at Parkersburg. There is an inbound manifest freight coming south on track 1 and will be crossing over onto track 2 and will be taking the other yard lead into Livingston. The inbound manifest freight is approaching Nitro, which is the next town north of Parkersburg. Let's jump ahead and meet M315 at Nitro. But first, let's take a quick tour of that area. Nitro is a very small town and home to only one industry serving the railroad. Nitro is also home to a viewing platform for local train buffs. On both sides of the viewing platform, you will find trackside residential housing as well. Nitro maintains the double-track main line with a set of crossovers for trains in and out of Parkersburg. As M315 comes into Parkersburg, it gets a medium approach indication as it crosses over from Track 1 to Track 2 and into the Livingston Long Lead. M315 has cars that will be put on the first 2 local trains out of Livingston Yard. With M315 out of the way, the dispatcher is setting up a route for E304, and we see the signal for Track 2 cycle through the indications as each block is cleared for E304. Back in Parkersburg, one of the first switch jobs has already pulled out of Livingston and is heading for the Parkersburg secondary. This local is YN1. EN1 has cars for 3 out of the 5 warehouses on the secondary. Today, YN1 has a rare move today that is normally taken care of by L140. That is the tank car going to Nitro. The 3 boxcars will be spotted on the runaround track, so the switcher can bring just the tank car to Nitro. The Parkersburg secondary has a switch on the south end that connects to the main line.